Welcome to the Deep Dive. You're here because, well, you want to get smart fast, right? To grasp the important stuff without getting completely bogged down.
Yeah.
Today, we're really zeroing in on a pretty detailed proposal for this platform called Akrmna. We've got the document, the proposal, outlining all its many moving parts.
Quite a few parts.
Yeah, our job today.
Great.
To kind of dissect Akrmna, figure out what it really does, and, understand how all these pieces might actually fit together, see what the impact could be.
Okay.
All right, let's unpack this plan. It seems ambitious.
It really does. What strikes you immediately, I think, is just how comprehensive it aims to be. It's definitely not a single-purpose tool.
No.
It feels like they envision it as a sort of central hub for a lot of different interactions. Personal life, professional life. The proposal paints a very broad picture.
It really does. And it kicks off with the individual, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The core idea seems to be basically connecting people for all sorts of needs.
Right.
One thing that caught my eye pretty early was this concept of recorded CV interviews. Online, or even in physical offices, they say, and standard CV formats. They even mention a nominal value for displaying these interviews.
Yeah.
How do you think that might change the usual job application game?
Well, adding video like that, it could give a much richer snapshot of someone, more dynamic than just a piece of paper.
For sure.
Employers might get a feel for communication skills, personality, maybe earlier on, could streamline the first screenings.
Yeah, makes sense.
But you also have to wonder, does it create a level playing field, thinking about access to tech or just how comfortable people are being recorded?
Good point.
And that joint HR office model they mentioned, with that very specific 50-25-25 revenue split employees, franchisee, Akrmna, that tells you it's a very structured, financially integrated approach they're planning for this service.
Right. Very defined. Then there's this special page for people. It sounds like it goes beyond just a standard professional profile. They talk about experiences, personality, work history, aspirations, even direct communication features.
Exactly. It's almost like blending, say, LinkedIn with parts of a personal website or blog.
Yeah.
And if you think big picture, that individual profile seems to be the foundation. It's the data point that feeds into, well, loads of other Akrmna features.
Like the engine driving things?
Kind of. Driving the personalized job offers, the individual services marketplace we'll probably get to, and those internal messaging systems, too.
And speaking what individuals can offer, there's a specific page to display their services for buying, selling, partnerships, even investment between individuals. That's quite a range.
It is. It suggests they're aiming for a sort of peer-to-peer economy that goes beyond just finding a job. Which does raise an interesting question, how would Akrmna ensure trust and quality in that kind of open marketplace?
Yeah, verification, disputes.
Exactly. An open system like that, it can be really dynamic, but you absolutely need those mechanisms in place.
Makes sense. Okay, now, shifting gears to how Akrmna coordinates with companies' institutions. The automated CV matching for jobs, well, that feels like a standard efficiency boost.
Pretty standard, yeah.
But this special page for them, for the companies, it seems to mirror the individual one. For service requests, direct engagement. How might that change how organizations, interact with clients or partners?
That special page for organizations could become like a main hub for them, showcasing what they do, starting collaborations more directly, maybe more transparently than, say, traditional outreach.
Okay.
And the investment service they mentioned, highlighting company opportunities. That's another key bit. It suggests Akrmna wants to be a platform for, well, business growth and funding, not just networking.
And it looks like companies can also directly list their services for customers. Run promotions. It's almost like merging B2B and B2C in one place.
And what's really noticeable here is the sheer number of messaging services they propose. You've got private messaging inside companies, personal chat, group chat, special channels for company customer talk, social messaging for specific company groups, even a work correspondence system that flags managers.
Wow.
It feels like they want to consolidate, well, almost all communication needs.
But could that work?
That's the question, isn't it? How intuitive is that going to be? How manageable for the average person? You could drown in notifications if it's not organized really well.
Definitely a risk.
Oh.
Then we hit this debate and voting service again. It seems to pop up in different sections. For individuals, it's about opinions. For organizations, internal discussion. What's the significance of seeing this feature repeat?
The fact that it keeps coming up, this debate and voting thing, it suggests a core idea maybe. A philosophy of encouraging community input, perhaps even some decentralized decision-making on the platform.
Interesting.
Whether that's about personal views, company policies, or even, as we'll see, educational stuff.
And we can't skip the video display services. For individuals, groups, paid subscriptions, free with ads.
Yeah, and that revenue sharing from ads is another clear sign of how the platform plans to make money and maybe encourage people to create content.
That tiered approach to video subscriptions,
Yeah.
ads, even letting people use personal servers if they have the tech means. It shows they understand creators and viewers have different needs, right?
Absolutely. It caters to different preferences. That personal server option is quite interesting. More control, potentially, but it also means you need the tech know-how and resources.
True. Okay, shifting to the education section. The idea of companies using Akrmna for employee training and for boosting their reputation by showing off successful work. That's an interesting angle.
It is. It positions the platform not just for hiring, but as a tool for continuous learning and employer branding too.
Right.
And this concept of approved individuals within companies being able to run courses, that broadens the educational side. It encourages internal knowledge sharing, peer learning, alongside maybe more formal training.
And guess what's back? The debate and voting service.
Of course.
This time for reviewing course content, correcting errors, even developing curriculum, maybe bringing in experts and scholars.
Yeah.
How could that collaborative approach affect the quality of education on there?
Well, potentially it could lead to more accurate, more relevant content. You're leveraging the collective smarts of the community, right? It also allows for ongoing improvement, adapting the learning materials over time.
Okay, the service is paid. This sounds like the main marketplace, the hub, bringing together everything offered by individuals, institutions, companies.
Yeah, this seems to be where the actual buying and selling, the transactions, would mostly happen.
And having that payment system built in installments, cash, credit cards, even installment price reviews, that's pretty crucial for making it all work, for facilitating the commerce.
Definitely. And the integrated logistics service, connecting businesses with delivery providers, comparing prices, that adds another really practical layer, supporting the actual economic activity.
Then the financial services section seems to dig even deeper into the money side. There's an evaluation and ratio system for rating providers, so a built-in reputation system.
Which is vital, isn't it, for building user confidence? You need that trust mechanism.
Totally.
And the installment payment options seem broader here, too, maybe applying to subscriptions, not just one-off purchases. Makes things more accessible.
And the investment system, again, connecting investors with companies, providing data, that could be a really big draw for businesses needing capital and people looking to invest.
For sure. Then you have the financial association service savings groups, assistance groups. That brings in a community finance angle.
Interesting.
And the partnership system, encouraging service providers to team up, could lead to more complete integrated services for the end user.
Okay, events section. Seems straightforward enough. List events, handle bookings, payments based on location, time, cost.
Pretty standard event platform stuff.
But they add this communication feature. For attendees to connect before and during the event, that feels like it could actually, boost the whole experience.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That pre-event and during event chat could really encourage more networking, more engagement, make the events themselves feel more valuable, more impactful.
Right. Then recorded videos. This section focuses just on content sharing. Artistic stuff, personal videos, entertainment, culture, news, hosting, all sorts.
And again, those different ways to monetize paid subscriptions, add revenue sharing, the personal servers, gives creators choices.
That personal server option is still intriguing. More control, yes, but also more responsibility for managing it all.
Absolutely. It's for a specific type of user or creator, probably.
Now, here's a detail. Seems small, maybe, but potentially quite significant. A platform-wide 1% transaction fee on everything.
1% flat fee.
Yeah. They say it's to attract users with low cost and, interestingly, to discourage price manipulation. What do you think about that flat fee model?
Well, a low flat fee can definitely lower the barrier to entry, makes the cost structure simple.
True.
The bit about preventing price manipulation is interesting. It suggests they're trying to keep the marketplace fair and transparent. But, the real test is long-term. Does it stay competitive as the platform grows? Depends on the volume of transactions, I suppose.
Yeah, scale matters.
Yeah.
Finally, we get to the Akrmna leadership structure. Sounds quite hierarchical. Organized by profession. from local districts up to international levels.
District, city, state, country, international. By profession.
And leaders get appointed based on ratings, or they resign, or can't lead, or even get impeached. It sounds almost like a self-governing digital community.
That structured leadership, it really suggests they're aiming for accountability, for clear organization within this whole Akrmna ecosystem.
Okay.
And electing the top international leader and the CEO advisor by their peers, the other international leaders, that adds a democratic touch at the highest level, could create a sense of community ownership.
And they have a clear chain of command. Reporting mechanisms. Emphasizes efficiency, it seems.
Looks like it.
And just to circle back on the HR platform specifics, they clarify hiring teams can filter candidates, download CVs, update statuses,
Right.
while candidates do the standard thing, apply, submit CV, and that interview video we talked about earlier.
Yeah, so it's really embedding those core HR functions right into the platform itself.
Integrating it all.
Exactly, which could seriously streamline hiring, leveraging those detailed profiles and the video interviews, potentially making it smoother for both sides, employers and job seekers.
So, okay, taking a step back now, looking at this whole Akrmna proposal,
Mhm.
what's your overall takeaway? What's the big impression of this multifaceted platform?
What really stands out, I think, is just how interconnected everything is supposed to be. All these features. It's not just a random collection of tools. The design seems to aim for this synergistic ecosystem where your profile and what you do across all these areas, work, personal life, learning, finance, social stuff, it's all integrated and potentially reinforces each other.
And here's where it gets really interesting for you listening. The theme that keeps popping up, the thread through this whole proposal, is this emphasis on building communities and structuring interactions within all these different parts of life.
Right.
It's not just about making a transaction easier or finding info. It seems to be about creating frameworks for people to connect, collaborate, even lead within these different spheres.
Exactly. The design feels like it goes beyond just, connecting user A to user B. It aims to provide actual structures for meaningful engagement, whether that's through debating ideas, learning together, those financial groups or professional partnerships.
So what should you, the listener, really take away from this deep dive into Akrmna? Maybe think about this. How might a platform that tries to integrate so many different facets of our lives, our jobs, our money, how we learn, how we interact socially, how could that fundamentally change the way we connect and operate? Imagine a future where, say, your professional identity is directly linked to your learning path and your investment choices, all inside one digital space. What are the potential upsides of a system like that? And crucially, what challenges might pop up in actually managing such a complex digital world? That's definitely something to chew on.